All right, I just got my Dexa Scan done. Sad part is I was a little wide to get a good visceral fat reading, but it read everything else. And it's actually encouraging, not discouraging. I was afraid to be discouraging. But it set a goal weight for me, I think, of 173 pounds, which if we were to go by BMI height weight charts, it would have me down somewhere around like 140, I think. Alright, good morning. Today is day 20. I slept in because I just did not feel good the last 2 days. I was kind of zoning out. I was wanting to just sleep. And it's funny because you don't think you're doing too much. I'd had two nights of not great sleep when I had gotten used to getting sleep. And I think it just kind of caught up with me the last 2 days. So this morning we're going for the Dexa Scan. So when I get home, we're gonna work out. I'm gonna just drink some water. It says you can, you have to fast 2 hours before the scan. Well, it looks like I'm not gonna eat because it's 6:57. So the scan is at 9 and I just waited too long to get up. But honestly, I do not regret it. I needed that rest. I think I might get my reading in, take a shower and head out, run some errands on the way down. Well, I guess a C- is better than a D.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of the letter grades anyway, because nobody, we all have baggage about grades, so I just prefer to look at the numbers. So we'll start with body fat here. So it has you at 51% here. And so right now we have this one data point for you here.
Yeah.
If you were to come back in a few months, obviously we'll have another data point and start building out trend lines for you.
That's my plan. Keep on track, keep checking in. Yeah.
And so the DEXA measures, it measures three things. It measures body fat, it measures bone, and then everything else falls under lean mass. So it's not just muscle, it's also organs and connective tissue and that. It also partitions your body. So here it has this is your torso showing, so fat mass in your torso, left and right side. It has you over your peer group. Here you can see that. And then arms, again, left and right. And then legs as well. 51% in your legs, 48% in your arms. I noticed that we were not able to get the visceral fat number for you on the DEXA. The scan field of the DEXA is really narrow, mostly because what the DEXA machine was originally designed for is just doing bone density scans, so like just hips or spines, so just like narrow pieces of the body. So at some point, if you come in again, we may be able to get this read for you.
And it depends on how we can position them. So we were trying to get you like set up just right.
Yeah,
so,
I know I'm wide.
We're really close to getting it.
Yeah. So this is what we call the android-gynoid ratio. This is just kind of where you tend to carry body fat on your body, whether it's more in your midsection or more in your lower body. We like to see this below 1. You're pretty close there. Just the lower the number, the more it tends towards the lower body. So it's just a safer place to carry body fat. When we carry it in our midsection, that's what the visceral fat also shows us, if we had that number. But that kind of fat kind of tends to cause more systemic inflammation and is more associated with metabolic issues. So
when it's spread out,
but when you carry it in your lower body, that's kind of the safer place to carry body fat than in your midsection.
Oh, okay.
So,
that's the visceral, right? So that's what's more systemic inflammation.
Yeah, and that's why we like to see this below 1. But you're almost there anyway. So it's just nothing really. We look at your lean mass, 47% lean. You're 26% under the average for your peer group, for percentage-wise for lean mass. again, your torso pretty even here, arms also as well, and legs. So this is a really great number for you. So ALMI stands for Appendicular Lean Mass Index. And so what this is showing is the, because the DEXA measures everything, like organs and everything as well, but we don't have that in our arms and legs. So this is measuring the lean mass in your arms and legs relative to your height. So this is saying you have a lot of good muscle mass in your arms and legs.
That's good to know.
Relative to your height, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's really hard to build this up as we get older, so that's why we like to keep an eye on this number, but you're doing really great here. Yeah, I was just reading it says avoid losing more than 8 pounds of your lean mass to stay in the optimal ALMI. But
That's what I'm hoping. That's why I'm checking in. I don't want to lose lean mass.
Right,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
And
So-
that's why these numbers, this is the same kind of calculation as BMI, but it's actually a useful number because it's actually showing
yeah.
Lean
just
mass
the lean
versus
mass.
just, yeah.
Total mass, right? And then FFMI is a similar number, but it is your full body lean mass. So fat-free mass relative to your height here. So you're doing great with those. And then your bone density is also in very good shape. So this is really good. So bone density, T-score is measuring you against a data set of women at peak bone density age. How old are you now?
47.
Okay, so you're beyond peak bone density age, but you're still 2.5 standard deviations above the mean of women who are at peak bone density. So you're doing very well here.
It's good to know because I was on reflux meds for years, and I guess that can affect your bones a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was curious how that looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
And this is your full skeleton. So, typically, like I said, like when you go in for a osteoporosis screening, they just do your hip and your spine. Those can sometimes read a bit different than your total skeleton, but this is very indicative that your bone health is doing very well. And then the Z-score is measuring you against women your age. So again, you're doing excellent in this category here. Do you want to guess how much your skeleton weighs by itself?
Actually, I think I have no idea. I have no idea. I actually think that app might have an estimate on it, but I don't remember. But I have no idea. 25 pounds? Is that right? 6 pounds?
Yeah. Yeah, skeletons are very light.
Really?
Even with your great bone density and everything. Yeah, and that's a totally normal number. We see women are,
Typically.
4 to 7,
Oh, yeah.
and men are a little bit higher average because they're generally taller. But yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then this just shows your bone density of the different parts of your skeleton here. So the head is always the most dense in all of us. It's the type of bone that the skull is made out of. So that's everything here. So on this on the app too, you'll see this where over here it's giving you a target. Sometimes the app can be a little aggressive with targets, but so for body fat here, and then if you just click on learn more, you can play around with
Oh, okay.
and then change target if you wanted to. You can kind of toggle that around a little bit.
Make it an intermediate goal rather than going all the way from like 51% to 31%. You can go to
41%,
51 to 45 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll show the other.
Because like the charts will say like I'm supposed to weigh like 140 pounds or something. Like I don't see
Yeah.
that as like a super like achievable goal.
Yeah.
I'll be happy if I get back to 180, honestly. So
And it's a piece
I
at a
can see
time.
where that sits. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So you could set it, actually,
Like this is saying that 41% would get you 212, and then
Yeah.
right, so it gives you short-term goals that you can
Yeah.
hit. And
I like that.
and you
realistic.
can see here where it's saying lean mass is the same, right? This is a goal, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just bringing down the fat mass. So, And you can do that with all of these. See here, it's saying, you know, you're good with that, with your lean mass. It measured you at 256 pounds today. The Dexa computes total mass based on just the scan.
Yeah, I was 256.6 at home, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
So it's pretty
It's
accurate.
very
Or
accurate.
8, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Which is amazing.
Well, it
'cause
makes me feel better about the scale, too.
Yeah, scale's
Yeah.
accurate as well.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Right. And like I said, next time, hopefully we'll be able to grab that visceral fat.
And
reading.
if you go back to total mass, so it wants you, you know, it's giving you a target of 173 there, so closer to that 180 that you.
Oh,
were
yeah,
thinking
that's
about.
great
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a hard time getting below 220, honestly, but
Yeah.
I'm just like, I go in a zone. I'm in a zone right now, so
Yeah.
anything's achievable, but
Yeah.
then when I fall off, nothing is. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
goal is to keep going and use numbers because that's what motivates me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And use numbers that are attainable. you
Yeah.
know, that are not like.
That's knowing that that's like a reasonable place for me to be, like,
Yeah.
is good to know because in my brain, you're always like, I got to be at, like, you know, by a chart, it's like 140, 150. And you're like, I'm never going to get there. Yeah.
It's beyond it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that's looking at your muscle mass and your bone density and everything and saying, okay,
Yeah.
this is,
And on that total mass, if you had to learn more and then the change target, you'll be able to manipulate that a little bit to find intermediate
Right.
goals on that one as
Okay.
well, right?
yeah.
They all work the same way.
Right.
They have an app. I'll have all this information on the app. They suggested not coming back for at least 3 months, so that's my plan, is to go back in 3 months. But man, great people. This is down in Nashua, right off Spitbrook Road. Super nice. Went over everything, and I'm so excited that, like, I finally got this done, and I have a really good, accurate measurement. Good thing is it looks like some of the numbers on the FeelFit app are pretty close to this, which is good to know as well. So that's definitely a good guide, and then I'll come back here in about 3 months and get this done. Yeah, I seriously, this was definitely motivating. Oh man, but to look at my picture on the screen, that was a little discouraging. Yeah. That wasn't the best image to see, but after going over the numbers, I felt much better. Yeah, this is good. This is a good start. Glad I did it now. Sprinkle for flavor. Gonna cut up some strawberries, and then I got some blueberries. And we've been using Justin's classic peanut butter. So Mom and I were just going back and forth about this, but there's only 2 grams of added sugar. Actually, 0 added sugar, 2 grams of sugar in this versus 4 grams in Jif. So I guess I could go either way, but if I can cut sugar somewhere. All right, pretty typical breakfast for me. It was a little chillier than I thought, so I needed to put a hoodie on. Yeah, so you know, saying it's supposed to snow today. I think we're supposed to get like 9 inches, which will pretty much be the biggest snow we've had this season. Back to the house for a second time. I am going to switch to the yak tracks. It's a little slick underneath. Attempt 3 at walking. We have the leashes, gloves, hat, dogs, yak tracks. All right, we have everything. I shouldn't need anything else. Get this done before it snows. It's supposed to snow through the morning tomorrow. Beautiful sky today. Hard to see it. The hill looks a bit daunting today. We're gonna try to knock this out. It's just that I know it's ice underneath, and you can see where some tire tracks have exposed the ice. I think we're 37 minutes into the walk. We're coming back down the hill. I walked it out. And of course, because I ate before, I have to go to the bathroom. So we have to get home. We're pushing it. Gotta get back. Alright, I'm finishing up walk 2. I had started it, I was 11 minutes in, and then the neighbor had fresh bagels, sourdough bagels. They wanted us to try, so dinner's a little late tonight, so this is my snack. So I'm working on my I'm reading right now. And I had to comment on this part of it. Companies spend millions of dollars to discover the most satisfying level of crunch in a potato chip or the perfect amount of fizz in a soda. Entire departments are dedicated to optimizing how a product feels in your mouth, a quality known as oro sensation. French fries, for example, are a potent combination, golden brown and crunchy on the outside, light and smooth on the inside. What caught my eye about this is the whole oro sensation and how when I'm in what I call my bad phase and pretty much eating whatever, what drives me is the sensation when I'm eating. I guess it's soothing. When you bite into a nice, thick, chewy brownie or ice cream for me, which I think I've mentioned, I didn't eat for years and all of a sudden I could eat ice cream. But like when there's a topping in there, just getting that topping and the right combination of things. Let's say a cinnamon roll, it's the middle part of it, a morning bun, that middle. There's just something perfect about it, and the light crispiness of a morning bun. Yeah, those things are what can be hard for me. The funny thing is it's not bothering me to talk about it right now. Normally, I would get fixated on it and have to go get one. So that's a good sign. All right, we're wrapping up another chapter that talks about making habits irresistible. All right, wrapping up day 20. Long day today. I slept in till about 6:40. I got ready. Didn't eat until like 11 because I went down and got the Dexa Scan. But still tried to make a good choice when I got back with my eggs. Went for a walk with the dogs. Took a break. Neighbor had some fresh bagels. Sourdough bagels, they were great. Finished my walk. Came in and pretty much been busy since, so we're going to bed late. It's 10. Tomorrow I'm going to get up, do my workouts, and then I got schoolwork to do. So we're going to mark off day 20.